watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Well, it's time for another first impressions video, and it's time for another first impressions video of a micro brand that I had never experienced before. I was certainly aware of this micro brand. There is lots of positivity about it online. It has certainly drawn my attention, but I have to admit, I actually did not think I was actually ever going to buy one. And that was for a couple of reasons. Firstly, a lot of their watches are a little bit smaller. There's one particular one that's very popular, but it happens to be a little bit small. I really like it, but it's probably a little bit small for me. The other fact is that they're a little bit more expensive than some other micro brands. I don't think they're overpriced, but they're probably pushing the level of sort of price for my particular watch budget. So when this Baltic Aquascaphe came up on the market secondhand in very, very good condition at a really reasonable price, well, I just had to buy it. I could not stop myself. I was really excited to see it. Contacted the owner and said, oh, please let me buy that. I really want it. And of course, obviously, I bought it. Today is going to be the first impressions of this Baltic Aquascaphe, the classic blue gilt version. This is still a current watch in their lineup and it is available. The bracelet which it is on is an optional extra, and obviously I have the bracelet, so the previous owner bought that as well. So let's flip the camera around now and let's check out this Baltic Aquascaphe. So here we have one of my latest purchases, the Baltic Aquascaphe. This is the classic blue gilt. Comes in this really cool packaging. Now, I did buy this one secondhand. It is in fantastic condition. It basically looks new, but if you wanted to buy one new, they are 660 euros. Well, they're 660 euros with the additional bracelet, which this one comes with. The packaging itself is really nice, really just a little bit different. If you sort of close this up, leaves a nice little gap there, which really looks cool. Inside here we've got information about the watch and warranties, etc., but just nice packaging at this sort of price. It's nice to have nice packaging. Obviously it's not required because, well, this is now going to go into my watch box drawer, but we're actually here to see the watch, aren't we? And straight out of the box, there are three things that really stand out to me straight away. Firstly is the dimensions and the size. This is a really nice size watch. Now, if you have watched my channel before, you know I do have some larger watches in my collection, but they're not particularly the watches that I'm always trying to buy. They just happen to be some larger watches that I particularly like. I also really love this one. This one's around the 39 millimeters. I think it's a lovely case sort of shape and size for this sort of, what I sort of consider a sort of a retro diver looking watch. So really nice size, really nice dimensions, and a really nice feel in the hand. Next is this blue sunray dial. Now I'm going to put in an outdoor shot to show it off properly because it's a little bit hard to see in the studio lights, because this blue, it really stands out. It's like a real feature of this watch, and you don't really sort of notice it until it really catches the light in the sun there. Really lovely. Third is that actually feel in hand, not just the sort of size and dimensions, but the real quality feel. When you pick up a watch and you go, oh, that feels really nice. That's the feeling I get from this one. But what are we getting? Well, we're getting a very sort of retro-inspired vintage diver look. It's from a micro brand. It's a micro brand that's getting a lot of positivity online. We're getting some marked indices. They're not applied, but at the 3, the 6, and the 9, we've got sort of inset or like a sandwich dial. Those triangles, they're a layer underneath, whereas the rest are actually sort of printed on top, which is interesting. I didn't realize that when I went to look at this watch. Other than that, everything else is printed on. I have quite a thin bezel, which I think actually suits this sort of retro sort of style. I quite like that. It contains the Miyota 9000 high beat movement, no ghost position, which is very cool. Have a nice piece of domed sapphire crystal, signed crown, really cool. Female end links. Fit really nicely, this bracelet as well. Very cool. It's like a beads of rice almost. Very nice sort of amount of movement as well, which is cool. Really nice bezel action as well. So have a listen to this one. Oh yeah, that's good, isn't it? Really nice click. Really solid. Feels very good. And the alignment on this watch as well is also very good. So let's line that up. Yep, check that out. Sits perfectly. As we expect from a dive watch, we're getting 200 meters of water resistance. On the dial there, it actually says Aquascaphe 200 meters. Getting a milled clasp, and I have to say this clasp is particularly good. Now it is only a friction lock, there's no buttons, there's no security, but check out the profile of that clasp. It just looks like it's part of the bracelet. How cool is that? So when you open it up, all milled inside. Very cool. I'm really impressed by that clasp. Normally I'd be sort of a bit against only a friction lock, but yeah, just check out how slim that is. And you really notice it when it's on wrist as well. And you are going to get a really good fit with this one because look how small the links are, but look how many micro adjusts there are as well. So you're really going to get a good fit from this watch. There's a pretty nice case back there. It's not etched too deeply, but there's a scuba diver there with some nice lines and some information about the watch as well. You see that there's solid end links as well, quick release spring bars as well, which makes it easy to swap this one out. I think this one will look very nice and a nice sort of distressed brown sort of strap as well. I think that'd be very, very cool. But let's check it out on wrist, shall we? Yeah, so you check out that clasp. Look how well it sits down on wrist. It really conforms. I've never really experienced a clasp quite like that, and I really do like it. Even though I do like the pushes generally, I think I'm willing to sacrifice it for this because it just feels and fits nicely on wrist. That bracelet really conforms to my wrist. Look, it's just perfect. That would fit to anybody's wrist. That's great. And yes, the size, yeah, that's lovely. It really does fit my wrist. I know I do like wear some larger watches sometimes, but really this is probably the perfect size for my wrist. It really does suit the wrist. And being 39 millimeters, it's really probably going to suit most people's wrist sizes. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist for your reference. You see it does sit a little bit flat, but because of the size of it, it actually sits really nicely. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This is one that I'm going to be wearing a lot. I can sort of foresee this one being in my future. And at that point, 4 to 6 weeks from now, I'll be doing a full in-depth review of it. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next video.